is this particular part you need to understand. We are at the paged memory management method. Our objective of paged memory management is to maximize the utilization of the memory with minimal overheads. Now, before coming to this page memory management, we have some prior concept. What is that concept? Concept is we have multi-programming with us, then where we try to accommodate the multiple tasks into primary memory. This is by creating logical partition of partition to a contiguous block of memory. This is leading to a fragmentation problem. Doesn't matter internal fragmentation, external fragmentation. These fragmentation leading to a smaller partition where they are difficult to accommodate it into a task. Then we thought that the smaller partition has to be combined together in order to get a combined free space. So memory compaction issue we are going to do. So this memory compaction is a time consuming process. This will be creating overheads onto a system, and that overheads are maximum. We need additional hardware. The cost of the systems are getting increased, right? But if you look at this particular concept, what is interesting is we don't have any restriction onto the here. We don't have any restriction onto a task, restriction onto a memory where memory is divided into partition. Okay, in order to improve this particular scenario, we came here with the page memory management, where we are extending this contiguous memory management method, where the pages are divided into, means the task is divided into pages, right? As I said, the task is divided pages. These pages are of the size. Who will decide these pages? Size of the page. The operating system is going to decide the size of the page. Now, the way the pages are divided, the task is divided into pages, the memory is divided into number of blocks. Now, who is going to decide the size of the block? Operating system is going to decide the size of the block. In practice, what is going to happen? The size of page is equal to the block. If this thumb rule we follow, then will not have this particular fragmentation issue, because we understand the fragmentation part. Like if the partition is of size, say 100K, and we have got here as 50K task size, so 50K internal fragmentation which we cannot utilize further. Okay, so if we are going to do this, size of page is equals to size of block, so then we will not have this kind of issue. So internal fragmentation will not be an issue. But this is not possible every time, right? So with very minimal cases, we will have a issue that we will have a page which is of a smaller size. Okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, so for example, task size is of 22K, and we have so 4 pages of 5K and 1 page of 2K. So this 2K page is going to fit into again 5K of memory block. So where you'll find that the 3K of memory is available into a memory block. Okay, but that is not very significant as compared to the issues of fragmentation that we have in partition memory management as well as contiguous memory management. So we don't have this particular issue here. Now, if you look at this, if you wanted to handle this particular task of number of pages, and the task is divided into pages and their relationship, we need to understand one more most important thing, and this is that these pages are contiguous onto a user address space. Now, user address space means a space where the process exists initially before coming into the primary memory. Right. So in that case, you can take it as a hard drive where the process exists, right? Where the process exists. So that we called it as an user address space. Okay. So user address space where the pages are contiguous. Okay, but they are logically contiguous. They are not physically contiguous onto memory, because we understand that the random memory blocks are going to be available for a particular task. So it is not necessary that for a task you will have contiguous blocks also, right? So if they are there available, it is being allocated. If but this is not the case, in that case, these pages are logically contiguous into a primary memory. Now, when they are logically contiguous into a primary memory, this particular relationship amongst the pages has to be defined by some structure, and that structure is called as page map table. So page map table is an additional information associated with every task. Means what? With every task has a page map table. So PMTs, page map tables, are with every task, right? Page map tables are with every task. Okay, so this page map table has got this particular structure. Since they are with respect to every task, their identities are different. So you have a page number and you have a block number. So this page number is nothing but index of the page of the task. Block number is the memory block where the page is loaded. So this is important. So you have got one more important table structure, that is called as page map table. Second is memory block table. Okay, so memory block table. So the way you have page map table, it is task. This memory block table is associated with entire memory, right? And this is having a structure like you have a block number, right? Then page. This particular page information is containing, say, task page number. Okay. Then status. Okay, means if a block is not having any page as such here, the status is going to be free or allocated, right? The status is going to be free or allocated, right? But if you look at here, the page information contains the task or page. So this task is like this information is like job one, page one, likewise. Okay, job one, job two, page two, and likewise, right? So this is called as memory block table. So this is really very informative kind of thing. So you have got a page table, page map table, as well as block table also, right? So let us go further, right? I hope you have got an idea of page map table and memory block table, right? So these two table structures we are going to have. Let us go further now, and let us try to see like how this is being organized into a primary memory now. How the memory representation we are trying to understand. Okay, say for example, uh, we have some task, we have some jobs. Say for example, this is going to be this is going to be job one. So this is we are going to write this is job one. Then we are going to have this as job 2. Then we are going to have this is going to be a job 3. Now here the size is not so much relevant here because this particular job is being divided into number of pages. So we are going to say that this particular job is divided into 2 pages. This particular job is being divided into, say, take a case, it is being divided into, it is being divided into 3 pages. For example, just let me have a eraser here. Okay, so it is being divided into 3 pages. This is being divided into 3 pages. Just a minute. Okay, 3 pages. Then you have this particular job. this job is having, say, one page. Okay, so let us try to understand. We'll make the index, we'll give this as 0th page, this as 1, so this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, so this is 0. Okay, so this is called as, this particular space is called as, where they are divided into pages, this is user address space. Okay, then this has got a relationship with a mechanism called page map table. So we understand that with every job there is a page map table. So here how many pages? 2 pages are there. So the page map table has a structure that it is having 2 attributes. Okay, what are they? First attribute is, this attribute is called as page number, and this attribute is called as block number. Okay, so this is, so you can say this is 0th page, this is first page. Now next is, for this again you are going to have a same kind of structure. So this is going to be, so you have page number, you have block number. Now next is, you have again the same, you have page number, you have block number. Okay, so this is 0th page, this is 1, this is 2, this is 0 page. Okay, now then once we have this representation here, PMT representation, we have memory. Say for example, this is going to be my structure of memory. Okay, and I know that this particular memory, some portion of memory is being reserved for operating system. So this is reserved for operating system, and then we are going to have this memory which is divided into equal number of blocks. So we are going to have this kind of structure. So these much number of blocks are there, so we'll just write it down and count it down, right? How many blocks we have. Okay, so this is say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So just to refer it as, say, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so with every block, if you look at this, just a microscopic view, if you zoom this particular 0th block, if you zoom it like this, you'll find that this block has certain boundaries. Okay, and we understand that these boundaries are maintained by bounds register, right? And they are providing us memory protection mechanism, right? So means if a task is allocated into this particular segment, it is not allowed to access the memory outside this particular portion. So this really very important. Okay, so with this particular every block, now with this memory block, we are going to have, with this is, we are going to have a memory block table. Okay, so which is containing information something like this. So we'll just prepare it so you can extend it out for all of this. So this is block number, right? Then you have a description. Okay, then you have a status, it is free or not, right? And you are going to have a size of page, right? That's for your information only. Okay, so simple case is like this. So this kind of information is blocks there. So usually memory block is equals to the size of the page. So you need not to worry much in this. Okay. So it is something like this. So this is say memory block number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So let us try to work it out in this way. Okay. The status initially they are say for example free, 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 free. Okay, they are like this. Okay, now if you look at the allocation, how this is going to get allocated, so you need to understand when you request to allocate the some size, right? So here uh, this job request to allocate it into a primary memory. So here the request is like how many number of blocks you need. So here it is like say 2 blocks are required. So for this, how many blocks are required? 2 blocks. Right. For this request is for say 2 blocks. Okay, request is for 2 blocks. For job 2, request is for say 3 blocks, right? And for job 3, request is say for 1 block. Okay, so say for example, if in this case we have seven number of blocks that are available, and out of that there are only. So, but like say if say 7 blocks are available, so after that, say this is going to be allocated. This is going to be allocated. These are going to be allocated. Just this is allocated. This is allocated. This is allocated. So in this case, it might be a case that you may have a serial allocation. Okay, so but say if this gets allocated and randomly, say in case of block number 3, so this gets allocated to block number 3, this gets allocated to block 7, this is block 2, this is block 4, block 6, and this is say block number 1. Okay, so which means that this particular page, I'll use some different color. Okay, so job 1, page 0 will be into here. Okay, so this is called job 1, page 0. Okay, next is on to a 7th. So this will go here. Okay, so job 1, page 1. Okay, job 1, page 1. Now, if you look at this, they are contiguous here, but they are not contiguous onto a primary memory. They are placed randomly on different. So page number 0 to page number this we need to go. Okay, so on memory block number 2, block number 3, you have J1, page 0. Okay, J1, page 0. Status of block is instead of free, now it is getting allocated. The size is, let's say, whatever the size of the block you have, say 5K block, 5K page. Okay, and in next link, so this is like link to the next block. Right? What is going to be like once with this gets executed, this has to be shifted to from this page 0. You have to shift to page 7. So the link is to page number 7. So page number 7 is the link. So from this it is going to get this page. Okay, so this is say job 1, page 1. So no link. So means what? This is being conducted into two blocks only. So this is getting allocated. Now next is like if you look at job 2, in case of job 2, it is being say going here to page block 2, then it is going here for page block number 4, then it is going here for. So here we are going to write job 2, page 0, job 2, page 1, here job 2, page 2. Okay, so again here I'm going to write say on 0. Here we are going to write J2P0. J2P0, this is get allocated. Now from J2P0 to next job, I need to move on to memory block number 4. It is being linked to block number 4. So this is 5K, memory block number 4. At block number 4, you have J2P1. It is allocated. This is 5K, and from this it is going to 6. Here we have J2. Here we have J2, P2, page number 2, and there is no link further, so it gets end here. Okay, so then this is going to be into page number block number 1. So this is going to be job 3, page 0. So here J3 P0, this is allocated, and this is 5K, and there is no reference to the next memory. Okay, so what it means? It means that the pages are physically contiguous onto a user address space, but they are logically contiguous onto a memory. And important thing is that you need to check the request from each job, that how many block are required in order to execute, right? So how many blocks are required in order to execute? Say for this job 1, the request is say 2 blocks. If there are available 2 number of blocks, then it is being loaded and being executed. Job number 2, 3 blocks, they are being loaded, it is being executed. For okay, so in case at a T0's time, what we need to say, the safe condition will be that number of blocks free must be greater than equals to number of blocks required by the jobs. Okay, so this is going to be the this is going to be a safe condition, right? Where you are requesting that number of blocks that are required for a system must be number of blocks free must be equals to the number of blocks required. If this is the condition, then you can accommodate maximum number of jobs here. Okay, so the advantage of this particular page memory management technique is we'll just write it down, the advantages. Your fragmentation problem is resolved. Your fragmentation problem is resolved completely. It maximizes the utilization of memory. Maximum utilization of memory. It maximizes the utilization of memory. Optimal overheads are seen. This is because of EMT and memory block table. The same kind of thing tables also you have seen to a partition memory management also. Okay, so so though the disadvantage is properly, like you can go with the disadvantages also. Fragmentation is resolved, but like still you have disadvantages. What are they? Like as I said that this is the problem, memory page breakage, right? This page breakage. Okay, so this page means what? Internal fragmentation exists because 3K is going to be free if you allocate this 2K partition into 5K partition. So this is called as this particular issue is also called as page breakage. So means where the page is not of equal size. So you have got an odd size page, right? Equal page breakage. Okay. So usually smaller size of pages are being available. So the disadvantages is like you may may come to come to page breakage issues. Okay, may come to page breakage. Okay, this is going to be one of the issue. Okay, then this mapping hardware, page map table and memory block table, increases the cost of computer. Cost is increased due to mapping hardware. Right, the size is getting increased due to the mapping hardware. Okay, so this is really very important. So, but one more important issue which comes here, I'll just